If I saw a police car coming down my street, I'd go into instant panic.
I had come to a point in my life where I knew death was inevitable.
There would be days that I couldn't be found and I was missing. Nobody knew where I was.
My wife had reached a point where she couldn't take anymore after all the years of my drug use and neglect around the home and neglect of my family.
I tell my family, don't call me a crackhead. I know who I am and I know what I am. But I do know that I am your daughter, and I need to know who I was and that you loved me.
For 40 years, I went from starting with alcohol to IV and narcotics and smoking crack cocaine on a regular basis.
I received a call from my son one night, and he was in such a state of active addiction, I thought for sure he was going to die.
There were seeds planted along the way of my journey. However, nobody could do this for me. I had to do this for myself.
My mother used to leave me letters in my mailbox, and when I was clear, I would read those letters, and that's what started bringing me home.
I ended up getting caught and subsequently ended up going to prison, and that's where it all hit me that, it was time to really change my life around.
It wasn't until I, inside, personally, believed that I had to change, that I finally started to change.
I really recognized that I had to trust. I had to believe that trust and ongoing treatment would be possible for me.
My son has entered into counseling, and that's something that he really needs to do because addiction is secondary to underlying issues. I finally hit my rock bottom back last fall. I had to take a leave from work. I knew I had to get help for myself, and that's when I came into contact with addiction services.
I was constantly sick to my stomach. I couldn't function. I was totally useless as a person. I was constantly worried about the addiction, what was happening with my daughter, what was happening with my family. I didn't know where I was going to turn, and then I found the Others Affected group.
I know it's hard. I know it's killing you from the inside out, not knowing the fate of your loved ones. However, you need to continue to take care of yourself. You need to surround yourself with people who are going through the same thing and who will support you.
A family, when it comes to addiction, they're always pushing the addict, trying to push them into recovery, and that doesn't work. Everybody has to reach their own bottom.
This is not something that you've done. This has evolved in another person's life. But first and foremost, you have to take care of yourself.
I still care very, very much for my daughter. I love her dearly and always will. But I no longer allow her addiction to consume my life.
Having safe boundaries means no is no, but I still love you and I'm still here.
My safe boundary was telling my son that I will love him unconditionally until my last breath, but that I need to take care of me.
When I got clean, my mom used to see me every few months or so, and she'd grab me by the cheeks and squeeze me and love me, and I could really see the joy and love in her face. She'd never, ever given up on me.
My children, they all embrace me now. As before, they would try to avoid me, not because they didn't love me, because they didn't want to see me like that. So that really gives me a big lift and makes me so happy.
One of the first things that I have realized with individuals is that as soon as they start to feel suspicious about another person's actions or behaviors, trust their suspicions. You need to trust that, because that's the early signs, the early stuff of prevention.
Don't wait for as long as me and my family did to get help. It's so important because it affects your life on a day-to-day basis.
Being in a 12-step program, I sponsor other addicts and recovering addicts, and the toughest thing I have to deal with today is watching people make mistakes, and I just love them through it.
I've learned that I can get better. My daughter may or may not ever get better.
I made a pledge to myself and to my family and to God that I'll never use again, and all I do is try to do things that continue to help me to stay strong.
Your loved one may have to detox many times, but the next time may be the one. The more time the addict spends clean, the clearer their thinking is. Don't give up.
Today, my hope is to finish school, become an addiction counselor, and go back into the prison system and doing a form of prison ministry.
In active addiction, I spent a lot of times locked in bathrooms. Very seldom did I look in the mirror. When I look in the mirror today, this is the woman that I see, and that gives me hope.
My name is Diane. I'm a mom. I work in healthcare, and my oldest son is an addict.
My name is Adele Dion. I'm raising my 2 grandchildren for my daughter, who is harmfully addicted.
My name is Louise Gorman. I work at Capitol Health. I've been clean for over 10 years.
My name is Woody Tolliver, and I've been clean for 6.5 years.
My name is Michelle Myra, and I work at Direction 180 in the LINKS program, and I have almost 9 years in clean.
Hi, my name's David. I'm an interior steel framer, and I'm a recovering addict.
My name is Edith Short. I work with Addiction Services, and I have over 20 years of recovery.
I'm Thomas Body. I'm studying at Nova Scotia Community College, and after 40 years of addiction, I'm celebrating 4 years clean.